Does that look like the right stream now? This... It's funny because LinkedIn is one of the worst platforms to actually stream. And this is what I do. I think now I'm in the right stream. Yes, I'm now in the right stream. So, alright, so I figured out as a very old as a totally non-developer, I figured out how to finally launch a stream on LinkedIn, the right stream. And can you guys please write here if you see it? Jonathan, I see it. Awesome. Awesome. I can see that this is actually the right stream. All right, this is awesome. So thank you everyone for joining. We have today a very chill Friday evening stream, and as you see, I'm even on time. So Jonathan, Sagar, very nice. Is anyone else here? Write me. I have here the chat on the right side, so I'm gonna be looking there. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Actually, super interesting. Write in the chat from what country are you. This is super interesting. Like I am, for example, I cannot, like, whenever people ask me from what country I am, I cannot really tell because I am Ukrainian, but I'm living in Germany for a very long time, so I'm kind of like half-half. I have two countries that are in my heart, so yeah, this is the start of the stream, and if you really could see the details, then the thing is that Dublin, nice. I've never been to Dublin, but Dublin is very known for the Salesforce ecosystem. It's nice. India, but living in Dublin. Good, awesome. Anyone else? India, Brazil, welcome. Kennedy, welcome. Brazil, nice, awesome. India, do we have Germany? Germany or US? Hi, India, oh wow. Nice, what time is it in India? Must be, I don't know, I have no idea what's the time zone. But anyway, so what I wanted to say is that if you paid attention, then you could see that this stream was supposed to be with the Evelyn, right? But Evelyn unfortunately could not join because of some personal reasons. So here I am. I'm gonna be Germany. Nice, Germany here. So I'm gonna be here for both people. I'm gonna be here for Evelyn, and I'm gonna be here for also South Africa. Nice, this is awesome. Germany rules. Let's go Germany. All right. So what we're gonna be talking today about is how you go from US California. This is awesome. I am planning a trip to US. I hope it's gonna be in 2025. So I'm gonna do a big tour on US. Many people are from India. Yeah. Pakistan. India and Pakistan. I have a big audience from India and Pakistan. Love you guys. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is how I personally went from being a junior developer to being an intermediate or like a middle developer. Now, I could... Florida, nice, Florida, awesome. I hope Florida recovers from all the election hustle. I know I work mostly with US folks, and I know that I could visually see that some people were like really swamped by the elections. So glad that it's all right now. So yeah, France, nice. So yes, what we're gonna be talking about is how I went from junior to being middle developer, senior developer. Now, I don't like to advertise myself as a senior developer, right? The definition of a senior developer is really not that clear. So I'm not gonna be talking that I am like the super senior developer that knows everything, right? And this is why I had Evelyn, because she's a senior developer. But what I can tell is that I've worked in Salesforce for 5 years. I have PT2 certification. I've been coding for probably like 10 years for now, and I've been teaching Apex for a very long time, and I taught over different courses for like 3,000 people, over than 3,000 people, multiple dozens of people, how to code through my courses, through my videos, through everything. And what I want to share today is what allowed me to switch from the stop being a junior Salesforce developer. And this is super important. Maybe you don't realize right now how important it is to get rid out of the junior developer thing, but this is one of the biggest milestones that you can actually get in your Salesforce developer career, in my opinion. This is the milestone that allowed me to go and travel with my laptop through Europe, that allowed me to go enjoy life, to ask for a better salary and all of this. So this is a super important milestone. And let me now switch. There we go. All right. You can see my screen here. So many of you who's gonna watch it, question. Yeah, guys, if you have questions, just ask it. Okay. I don't have like really predefined agenda here. Gonna be it's all good. Ask your questions if they're not related, we're gonna discuss them later. If they're related, we might even answer them immediately. So get comfortable because this is going to be pretty chill stream on the Friday. Of course, who wanna have not a chill stream on Friday. So this is going to be helpful for people not only who are developers already, but also who are here, because it's important to understand what are the milestones. And I can, from my own experience, I can say that getting rid out of the junior title is the single most important achievement in the developer career. Nothing after that goes is as important. Why so? Why is it the case? Because when you stop being a junior, you kind of transform into this like middle intermediate developer, what people call it usually. In Europe, we usually say middle developer. I also saw people calling it intermediate developer. What happens is that your career is secured at this point. There's no coming back. There's no such a thing that you're gonna be without any job at all. You will be able to find a job at any point, and at this point you can kind of forget about not having a job. The question is, of course, what kind of payment will be for the job. You might, even as an intermediate developer, even as a senior developer, you might not always find a job that is perfectly to your, like, what you imagine, all the $500,000, all the millions that you want to earn as a developer. Well, maybe not always you're getting this, but the point is that you're never gonna have to fight for food. Basically, you're never gonna have to struggle to get, let's say, like 80K a year salary. So this is why it's super important. Yeah, but before we can even speak about it, it's important that here, before you're even a junior developer, you have this stage, right? So you have this stage, and what happened? Go back. No, go back. Come on. There we go. All right. So you have this stage, and this is a stage of you like not being in any kind of developer career, right? And in a lot of cases, people here, they ask themselves, okay, my career is kind of getting nowhere. What are the next steps that I can do? And many people want to go here into being an architect, and I can say like something like technical architect, for example. And if you want to go from this and be a technical architect, I would argue that first you need to go and learn how to code, at least on the junior level. Okay, but for that I already have a lot of videos, so it's all good. It's all good. You can rewatch a lot of things. So Shambu asking, how do we know ourselves or awareness that we are progressing as a Salesforce developer? Well, is your employer happy? If your employer is happy, that kind of means that you're progressing. So that's that's how it works. And if you can demand better salary, then it means you're progressing and take on more responsibility. All right. So here you are, junior, right? Now, what does it even mean to be a junior? Of course, we cannot really define what does it mean, because everyone has own definition what does it mean. But in my opinion, junior, this is someone who can take a full task and solve it solve it with a bit of help, right? So junior is someone who is not necessarily can like take on the whole project on its own. And juniors, usually you need some kind of mentor, you need someone who helps to the junior to actually go and solve the tasks, right? So it's I've seen some companies that they expect from juniors to be able to just go in and solve stuff. No, this is kind of silly, because you really don't want to do that as a junior. You can't do that in a lot of cases. Yeah. So as a junior, you take on a task, you solve it, and you with a little bit of help from someone who is a senior or a middle developer. So this is kind of the definition, and it's important. It's very important that a junior, it doesn't mean that a junior writes bad code. And it's such a big misconception that I saw. Even as a junior, you're still a developer, like a junior developer. So you're still kind of like just a beginner engineer. It doesn't mean that you are there to write a bad code. And if someone is a junior, it's absolutely a no excuse for them to write a bad code. Absolutely no. So you need as a junior, you need to already be able to write really good, performant, best practice code. If you can't do that, then you need to kind of revisit where you're going. You need to learn it. It's not super hard. You can learn it. You can ask your middle developer. You can ask your senior. You can go based on the I don't know somewhere on the Trailblazer community, right? But it's important that junior they're writing good code in any case. It's just that they cannot always follow the full picture. They don't know how to take the whole project. And the biggest thing that juniors should do it's learn and quantity. Yeah, doesn't mean that we are sacrificing quality, but quantity, no matter what you do, is the most important thing. So we're gonna be speaking a lot about this transition from junior to intermediate developer, right? And what you need to do to actually move there, to move your career. But it is important that no matter what you do here at the junior level, the more of this, the more of anything that you're gonna do, the more you do it, the quicker you progress. Example, right? And I'm gonna show you my own examples and how I did it. So the biggest thing for me here on the transition was mentors. This is crazy how important it is. If I had to just pick one thing that makes or breaks this transition from being junior to being intermediate, mentors. This is just I always want to scream it on LinkedIn hey, having a mentor is the single best life hack in life ever. And I don't know how to put it to make a more emphasis on it, but I tell you, the step number one that you can do to move from junior to intermediate to middle developer, just find a mentor. That's it. This is, if you just do this one step, you don't need to listen. You can, please don't do that. Please don't go from the live stream. I want to see your questions. But you can, that's it. That's everything you need to know. Okay, so you need to find a mentor. But what kind of mentor, right? It's a little bit tricky. And this is important. We have this, for example, we have this Trailblazer mentoring program. That's not what you're searching for. You're not searching for a life coach. You're not searching for someone who's gonna steer your career. You're looking for someone who's gonna give you technical tasks and who's gonna guide you through the technical tasks, and who is going to show you what are you doing right and what are you doing wrong in those technical tasks. How do you find a mentor? Who is your mentor? And I see someone from USA joining. So how do you find a mentor? This is a really good question. Just let me write here, right? So Shiba, you're writing how do you find one? How do you find one? This is tricky because, in my opinion, the best mentor that you can find is on your job. Considering that we are speaking here of the transition from junior to intermediate, I assume one thing, and this is actually this is what I'm gonna assume, that you're working you're working with coding. You're working with coding, right? It's not something that you are doing sometimes when you have time. You are actually, your job is actually working with coding. Yeah, if it's not, then it's gonna be very hard to progress, because imagine like one person who is coding every day, whose job is just coding, and another person who is like coding once a month. Of course, it's gonna be a completely different way of growing. But my point is that if you're already working with code, then probably you have some kind of colleagues who are overlooking you, right? Because if you're another situation, if you're a junior on a project and you're alone, or even worse, you're like a like a like a captain that can do all the things. I don't know the proper English. I think it's called Jake of all trades, something like this in English. So basically, you're doing everything. You're doing administration, you're doing BA, you're doing coding. This is not productive for your developer career. This is not bad for your overall career as a technical consultant, something. But if you're the only one person on the project or in the whole company, wow, this is gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. Not only you're not having the mentors, but you also don't really have the possibility to like just take a break and have some kind of reflection on what are you doing. So it's gonna be hard. So if you're in this situation, I guess you should be trying to like change the job or something like this. And yeah, but you're rarely in this situation if you're working in some kind of consulting. I know some people who are in this situation when they work like for the end user. Well, that's kind of the downside of working for the end user. That's just life. Switch to consulting. That's all I can say. Switch to consulting, everyone. Um, okay, so how do you find the mentor? Best way to find a mentor is just on your job. And you don't go to people by asking, "Hey, can you be my mentor?" No, you just come to your colleague and you ask, "Hey, I'm working now on this task. It's supposed to do something. Can you help me? What I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right? Can you give me the feedback on the code?" And the person gives you, and this person is your mentor, even though you haven't officially announced that this person is your mentor, right? But this person is like helping you. And of course, it doesn't necessarily have to be like on a consistent basis. You can like just come and go. But I can tell you how it works in really good companies. So in really good companies, when you come to the job, so this is you. You're getting your new job, all right? You're getting immediately assigned to a mentor. I'm gonna put here the cool glasses, because this mentor gonna overlook everything. So Danila is asking, what is the difference between what you recently said and code review? Not much. I mean, this is like, code review is one of the tools how you can do that, right? So one of the tools of mentoring is doing the code reviews. So this mentor, he gives you task, you solve the task, and then this mentor, he checks the task. Okay, so you solve the task, he checks the task, and then this task is moving to production, right? So no task is moving to production. I love the cool glasses for the mentor. Yeah, like the mentor supposed to be like the cool guy who is like checking all your code in like one just one check, 1 second. So this is usually how it works. And now how it's gonna look like when you first find like the right place where you work. You're gonna get a task, right? So you're gonna get a task, and you're gonna solve this task. Now you're gonna solve this task, and you're gonna be, look, this is my awesome code that I wrote, and this is how it was for me. And then the mentor is gonna come to you and say, this is the worst code I've ever seen. This is a complete BS. This is so bad. Go rework. You don't know anything. So what you do is that you go and rework your code. And then the mentor looks at your code and says, well, this is still kind of a garbage, but it's a little bit better. Here are the things that you need to work on. And he gives you a list of 100 things that you did wrong. And you're like, okay. So what you do is that you work on those 100 things. And then finally, the mentor says, meh, that's gonna work approximately somehow. And that goes into the staging, UIT, all of this. Then maybe it comes back. But eventually it goes into the production, right? So this is the usual way how this mentoring works at the companies. So it's important that you actually have someone who can give you the tasks and who have time and resources and willingness to help you out. And the question is, what's in it for the mentor, right? Like, why would the mentor, why would this guy with the cool glasses help you ever? Now, first of all, because he really, really, really needs someone who will be able to do the tasks without him giving a lot of feedback. But it takes time to grow such a person. So he's gonna invest, or she, the time into this mentoring, and then the mentor gonna hope that you're gonna be able eventually to take on your own the tasks, and that's kind of like win-win. That's the first reason. The second reason is that people who are like seniors, people who are middle developers, they just love helping junior folks. I don't know what's exactly about this, but this is also the reason why I do a lot of mentoring, because I just love it. Like, there's something in just taking your knowledge and transferring to another person. There's something in it. I cannot really explain what exactly, but yeah, just people love it doing it. Like, it's a nice thing to see someone growing. It's a nice thing to like to help people understand coding. And despite what you can read about all the AI stuff, there's so much knowledge that is just passed by experience, like verbally, by speaking to someone. There's so much knowledge that we cannot really put it. Basically, if you try to ask your senior developer, hey, can you like write an article in depth on some topic, it's gonna turn out into a long article, because there are actually so many nuances to basically everything that you can do, right? So this transfer of knowledge, it's basically right now is, I think, possible only through actually like speaking, showing, having different cases and explaining to the juniors why in this case something is working, something doesn't work, right? So this is single most important thing that you can do, is finding a mentor. Okay, so someone asking, what is more important, solving a problem or knowing what's needed to be solved? Solving a problem. Like like, it's like a climate change. Like, we kind of know what needs to be done, right? But do we do anything? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. So, is it, guys, right? If it's helpful so far, just write a plus. I want to see that you're here. If you think that you can just chill out in the comments, no. This is more interactive of a stream. Even though I said it's going to be a chill stream. It is a chill stream, but still want to see you. And what are you doing there? In the meanwhile, so the mentors are important, right? But this is not the only one thing. Okay, so Shiba is writing plus, and the last thing, a senior person on a project wants a bad code. Yeah, a lot harder to fix after deploying it. Barbara, yes, I agree. So like, if you're a senior, you really don't want to have bad code there. And usually you're also a little bit like lazy, so you would rather have, the thing about like senior developers is that they would rather spend their time on senior level problems rather than on the junior level problems. Like, for example, writing code is actually more of a junior level problem rather than a senior level problem. Developing the right architecture for the code and the right solution, this is more like the senior job, right? So seniors, they usually don't want to like waste their time on doing basically like the typing. And I see Carla is writing plus, Sagar is writing plus, awesome, Shiba is writing plus. Yes. So what about when you don't have a nice senior on your project, no mentor at work? I would say change the job. I would say change the job. Change the job or find someone like me who is like specializing in this. But definitely what I see a lot of people doing, and like what is the biggest mistake I see people doing, they hear or mentor, and then they go and they try to like go something like a trailblazer mentoring program, and what they actually find is not a mentor. They find the coach. Like what's the difference, right? The coach is not specific. The coach is like for defining your overall direction of your career, right? Versus a mentor is always like specific, task check, task check, task check, and like this, like the transfer of uh, the transfer of the knowledge. Do you want to understand why you're doing what you have been asked to do? I did not get this one. Maybe you can rephrase, Shiba. I joined here to get some knowledge from a knowledgeable person. Yeah, absolutely. So this is why I'm doing this, and so I'm trying to like to show you what helped me in this case. And yeah, so the mentors, it doesn't have to be like one person, right? You can get a little bit of mentoring from one, a little bit from another one, but eventually the thing is that if you don't have a mentor on the job, like what will you be mentored on? That's the biggest question, right? And this is the biggest problem with all, like with other programs, because um you need like to have an actual challenges to be mentored on. You cannot just be like you cannot be just mentoring like just like random stuff, right? um so yeah, so this is one thing. Another thing that helps a lot, so I guess we can finish up the mentoring part, and I can tell you a few more things that are important on this transition from junior to intermediate developer. um Another important thing is reading reading code. Now this is a little bit not the most obvious thing that you can think about, but reading code is actually insanely important, especially once you're already a junior developer, because this is, we can also say that this is kind of like a form of a mentoring, because what you do is basically, imagine this. So you have this insanely cool senior, right? This one with the cool glasses, and he wrote some code. And this code is written with all the experience that he has, all the experience, all the knowledge, right? Everything. And if you can understand the what is he writing, and why is he or she writing about like in exactly this way, not the other way around, then it's gonna teach you a lot about patterns. It's gonna teach you a lot about best practices. It's gonna teach you a lot about things like how you basically structure the code and how you solve different problems. And reading code, and this is something that no one told me, and this is why I'm telling you this, is because reading code is super important. This is like, we're like, as developers, we're spending so much time actually reading the code, not only writing the code. And when you're, for example, when you're debugging, you're reading the code, right? You're not so much writing the code, and debugging is a big part of of a developer career. So this is super super important. You need to read the code. Okay, so the next one. I don't have anything to say about reading the code. Just read as much code as possible, right? To get better at reading code, you need to be able to read more code. All right. Um, After reading code, I would suggest that you need to start searching for quality projects. Which means quality. What do you mean quality? This is something that should be challenging for you, something that should be technically challenging for you. Because at this point, a lot of people, they go into this thing like, all right, I can already write a little bit of code, and that was for me. Like I could write certain things, but for example, I was really bad at LWC, and I was trying to avoid LWC. So I was avoiding as much as possible. I was trying to like, hey, can I do integrations? Can I do Apex? Can I do blah blah blah? And at the end, the boss came to me and he said, hey, Igor, I see that you've done here a lot of Apex tasks, but we have here like a big pile of like 15 LWC tasks that no one can touch, and you also don't want to touch. Why are you doing this? And I said, nah, I am not really that good at LWC. We have other people who are better at LWC. Let them handle this. And to this, he said to me, "Do you want to be? Do you want to be a really good developer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to be a really good developer." He said, "Then go and do this LWC. Don't delay it, because if you're gonna be delaying stuff that is actually scaring you, then you're never gonna be like a really good senior developer." Tsenko, welcome. Nice to have you. Nice to have you here. Would you call yourself a senior developer, Tsenko? That's the question. That's the question. I'm always a little bit hesitant to call myself a senior, but yeah, it's all good. Is DSA a bit important to do becoming? What is DSA? I have no idea what's the data structures. Is it data structures and algorithms? Data structures and algorithms. Yeah, we are coming to this. We are coming to this. So what I want to say that you need to find quality projects, something that is not short. Definitely what I was trying to avoid. Tsenko saying I am always a junior learner for life. Same for me. Same for me. So what I got stuck once as a junior is that I was stuck into having a lot of tasks, but not having any projects. This was on my first Salesforce developer job. And this is very important that as a junior, if you want to go to like intermediate, you need to start thinking in terms of the projects, not tasks, right? It's not about, oh, can I handle this or that task? You should try to learn if you can handle the whole project. And this is what you should, that's why you need to search for quality projects. Yeah. Another important thing about this is that not only the quality projects, but the big question is like, what scares you? I am sure if you're really honest with you, and like if you really sit down and think about it, like what are things that you're doing every day, every week, every couple of months, that kind of scare you a little bit, or like not scare like, wow, I'm like shivering here and I cannot fall asleep at the night, but something where you're hesitant. And for me personally, it was CLI. It was CLI, Git, and building pipelines, building DevOps pipelines. This is something that as a junior I was super scared about. It's kind of a hard topic. I get it, but this is why I was scared about it. I was not really using any like CLI stuff. I was not really using Git in terms of like Git commands. So when we were running into some kind of merge conflicts, I always got like, merge conflict, help me please. So when you think about it, I'm sure if you're right now a junior, you're always gonna find a few things that you are like, what the hell, it's so bad. Now the question is, what do you do in this case, right? What do you do in this case? Well, let's make it longer. Let's make it so I have a little bit more space for drawing. All right, so I see people agree with me in the chat. All right, so what scares you, right? And I am quite sure that for a lot of people, that's actually going to be something along the line of CLI, because I see a lot of people who are trying to become developers, they completely forget about learning CLI, like completely. And then when they start the first job, they're like, wow, wait, I actually use CLI almost every day. What the hell? Now I need to go and learn this. So for a lot of juniors, and for me including, it was a big problem. So what do you do in this case? Two choices. And the one is painful and the long one. And another one is a quick and a really good one. So guess which one most people choose? Pain or good? So a lot of people choose a painful way, me including. I tell you, this was one of my biggest mistakes. So whenever you see something that you don't understand as a developer, what we tend to do is we tend to go and try to learn, like watch a YouTube video, like maybe like read a few articles. Well, this is the painful way, because you're gonna be just endlessly going through all of this type of things, right? What I suggest you do instead is that you go and you actually pay for paid courses. Like you actually pay for courses, paid, paid. I have spent so much money on the paid courses, and I can tell you it pays off. Like you're not paying in the course, you're not paying because you're trying to like buy the knowledge that you cannot find anywhere else. In most courses, you can't find everything on the internet anyway. Internet is big, right? But what you're paying for is the consolidation. You're paying for someone is actually putting everything that you need into the into the course, right? Instead of you just like wobbling around different topics and trying to learn them. So what I started doing when I was a little bit more into my career, I just started paying for everything I could, and then I was trying to build projects with this projects projects. So this is my way, and that worked for me way better than what I used to do when I was a junior and I was like burned out and I was sitting there and not understanding anything. I was going to the watching YouTube tutorials, watching some other tutorials, and then endlessly just doing the tutorials. That's that's kind of a little bit difficult. Now, of course, the question is how to find a good course and all of this, but I'm sure you will be able to find out. I'm sure you can differentiate good course from another course. But this is my big mistake. this is this is the big mistake. Tell us the courses you took, please. I don't want to go too much into the specifics. I can recommend this one, Code Gym. I can recommend this one to everyone who is like not even into Java, but I can recommend this one. I think I went through like the whole thing here, so it's very good. I don't know what it costs now. Like when I used to take it, cost like something like $30. So I would recommend this one. But yeah, so it depends what kind of like it depends what kind of thing you want to learn, right? It depends a lot. Um, yeah, I don't know. Should you pursue certification Salesforce? Yeah, certifications. We are coming to this. We're coming. So Shiba, this is a good point. So we're coming to certifications. By the way, Barbara, another course. Did they know another course? How did I even miss this opportunity? Oh my god, Barbara, that was the perfect question to make a shameless plug about my upcoming course on Apex. So if you want to go not a painful way, then on 18th of November, actually in 10 days, we are launching the course, and you can join it and learn Apex there. The plug is over. The plug is over, guys. Go join the waitlist. But we are continuing. So we are continuing about the certifications. So what kind of certifications do you need? I am not, as you might have guessed, from my posts. I am not a big fan of certifications, and I believe, and I'm gonna believe it. I don't know. This is the truth that I am ready to fight for. That experience is more important than certifications. Experience is 10 times more important than certifications. Okay? And experience, this is what actually makes you a good developer. And experience, this is something that actually makes you then better at your job, makes you more money, and you can like find the job better and all of this, and makes you a better market value. Now, certifications, I look at them as just pure marketing, right? Because as a developer, you have always two sides. This is you as a developer. Right? That was an attempt to draw a head. So this is a developer. And you have two sides. This is your, so to say, backend of a developer, and this is your front end. Now we are going here a little bit in the nerdy stuff. So your backend, this is how you actually perform on the job, and this is how people see you, right? And it's important to balance those things out. And you cannot get a lot of jobs just based on this part. But certifications, this is what helps you with this. This is what helps with the perception. I can tell you this, with the best developers I've seen, the best developers I worked with, my mentors, they almost all of them had 0 certifications. This was crazy because they were so experienced. They had 10 years of experience, 0 certifications. Well, it's not necessarily the playbook, right? Doesn't mean that if you have 0 certifications, you're going to be super experienced. No. But the point is that you still can have an awesome career without certifications, for sure, right? But certifications, they help you to advertise yourself. They help you to market yourself. They help you to like, if you send the resume, CV, of course it's better if you have more certifications. But what's important that certifications, they don't help you on the back end. They don't help you with your actual skills. Maybe a little bit, but not to the extent that you would learn from just doing projects and doing like paid stuff, courses, something like this. So certifications, look at them as the marketing tactic, not as a skill getting tactic, right? Which is also equally important, especially, and I think we see here some non-technical people, like consultants, admins. If you don't have any like computer science degree, all of this, I think it's important for you guys to get PD2, because it kind of shows you that you're actually serious and you're above the average level of coding with the PD2. So I think this is important. Yeah. So certifications, definitely go for it, but don't make it a priority. What certifications I personally love? I can tell you this. Here you go. I love PD2 certification platform. Let's just write the platform developer 2 certification. I have it. I passed it. It's not the easiest certification. It's not insanely hard, impossible to do. It goes deeper into a lot of concepts. It's not necessarily that applicable in all cases, but it's a really nice certification because this is the certification that makes or breaks someone who is like can become a proper full developer, like really good developer or not. This is the certification that is almost impossible to get if you cannot actually code. I cannot imagine someone who can't code getting PD2 certification. It's hard, right? So I would say, I don't want to say impossible, but pretty much impossible, right? So if you have PD2, what it signals to everyone is that you are actually really great at coding, and you're good at understanding complex stuff in Salesforce development. So this is important. The PD2 is important. Obviously, to get PD2, you need to get PD1, obviously. But I would say that PD1 right now, it's such a basic that everyone should have PD1. Like, it's not even like specific for developers. I think PD1 is now a little bit like in inflation because everyone has PD1 and you don't even need to be able to code that much to pass PD1. So PD1, leave it out. And another certification that I absolutely love is that I don't have. So I'm not the best person to talk about this, but JavaScript 1. JavaScript 1. In Ukraine, we have a saying that says a shoemaker is always without shoes. So that's me. That's me. I am recommending you JavaScript Developer 1, and I don't have it. All right. Does anyone, Tsenko, if you're still watching, is there anyone who have JavaScript 1 certification and can write if it's actually a good certification, like write plus if it's a good certification? Because I studied for it a little bit, I didn't take it. And obviously now running the business, oh my god, don't have don't have the capacity to take the certification. But anyway, that's all good. That's all good. Um, all right, so this certification, I think it's good. But honestly, if you pass just developer two, I think from like for me personally, it was enough. Mm, yeah, for me personally, it was enough. But at the same time, I also never had to apply like mass apply to the jobs because there's and so this we can I can go about this forever, but there's a hidden market, um, especially for coding, that you can get in by like just speaking with people and like hanging out in communities, but not necessarily by applying, or maybe someone is recommending you. But like mass applying for developer roles, well, it's kind of yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of hard. So in this case, if you're like mass applying for the roles, then yeah, of course, go for more certifications. Go for other certifications. Maybe you can, at this point you can add something like some kind of admin certifications as a bonus to it. So those are the steps, guys. So what I want you to do is that you write your questions right now in the chat if you have some, um, because because I'm curious. I wanna see what is like, what's bothering you. What do you want to know about this? Um, Yeah, because that's pretty much about the back end and front end of a Salesforce developer career. I know I'm probably introducing here some wild stuff. I've never seen anyone speaking about career as a back end and front end career. So I might be reintroducing here a lot of a lot of strange things, um, a lot of nerdy things. But this is why we are here. This is why we are here. And in the meanwhile, while you're writing your questions, I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. Let's see. The What does your class waitlist mean? Well, it means that when you join the waitlist and we are out on 18th of November, uh, you're gonna be notified first, and then you can become, in the quickest possible way in the world, you can learn Apex. Important, my course doesn't have any JavaScript. It doesn't have any advanced concepts. The only purpose of my course is to teach you Apex, the basics of Apex, in the quickest, most efficient way, not trying to overload you with the zillion, 100 million, billion, trillion of videos and materials. I have JavaScript 1. It's a good certification. I got in second attempt. Was a little hard. Yep. A screen grab. Oh wow. Okay, Shiba. I'm gonna do it. I think it's important also to, so yeah, this is what I wanted to add to this is that this was those were my things that helped me to go into like intermediate developer. And what, like, where do you want to end up after you do all of this mentoring plus courses plus think about your front end and back end? You should be able to take on a full projects on your own or with a very little of help of anyone, right? So no matter what kind of project is coming to you, you should be able, in some cases, just speak a little bit about with your senior about what needs to be done, or you should be able to completely just handle it end to end. Also, including, you should be able to go and actually speak to the client or speak to the users. And this is important because a lot of developers, they don't understand, at least junior developers, because they work in this way where they're getting a task assigned, they're solving the task, the senior is saying, oh nice, well done Igor, yeah, you're super great, well done, good code, let's go with the next one. This is not the reality of developers once they go past the junior stage, because turns out that the job of a developer is actually so much people heavy than you thought, because you have to speak to developers, to people who are working on the project. You have to speak with the project manager. You have to speak, that's important, to the users. You have to speak to the client. You have to be like a little bit of a business analyst. And that actually reminds me on one of important skill that we actually did not discuss here, and this is just being great at business analysis, right? At at understanding business processes. And this is something that differentiates a lot between a junior developer and a middle developer, because junior developers, they are not expected to go hot into the project, be thrown there and understand the whole thing immediately, how does the business work, how everything works, and the most important, how to build this in with the coding, right? Because as an intermediate developer, so this is the business, right? This is the business, and your task is to make out of the business process, to make some kind of code, right? And this is your task. And your task is to speak to the client, to understand what you need to ask the client, to understand what you need to expect and what kind of information do you need. So you see the job becomes way more connected with many other skills, because suddenly you're going from just doing tasks, just doing coding, you're going to actually actually speaking, being in the hot water, being with the real people. And this, I can tell you, this is the hardest part. This is the part where a lot of developers struggle with, and I was one of them. You need to understand business processes, you need to understand business, and then you end up writing very little code. And the more in this graphic you're going on the right side, right? The more you move from intermediate to a senior, from senior to whatever CTO, for example, you're writing less and less code. And this is a big a big I don't know, a big funny part about the developer career, because you wanted to write code, you wanted to nerd out about different coding things, and you end up writing zero code. You end up only developing solutions. You end up only just moving Trello tickets basically around and assigning tasks to different developers and writing architecture. And this is crazy. This is crazy. This is a very, very interesting part, because it's not that dramatic. You're still writing code usually, but it's getting less and less. And then when you end up as a CTO or team lead, for example, you're rarely writing any code. All right. So what are other questions you have, guys? Do we need to practice daily? Yes, of course. Well, I mean, daily. Here's the thing about practicing daily. And this is what I learned from my mentor. So I'm gonna reveal right now for you a big insight from my mentor. My mentor that helps me with the launching courses and with my business. This concept, it's so good. It's so good. So here's how it goes. You know, a lot of people, me including, they have a to-do list, right? So this is line number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And I don't know how about you, but I've been using Notion for a very long time, and I can actually go back to 5 years ago when I was just starting out, and I can still find to-do list tasks from 5 years ago. So the to-do list is never finished. And this is true. This is true for everyone. This is true not only if you have a business or something, it's true for everything. And what my mentor actually taught me to do is to find what is the single most important task in your day right now that you can do. This one, or maybe it's this one, whatever. What is the single most important task that you can do to advance your career, and focus only on this one thing? This insight, this is good. So this is about practicing daily, right? When you want to practice daily, ask yourself, what will be the only one thing, if I do it today, that I can call a day a success in terms of advancing my career? One thing. For someone, it can be read this article. For someone, it can be study focus on force. Whatever, take a certification. Even ask for a feedback of someone. There's always only one action. But the thing is, if you're focusing on this action for the whole year of one most important action, you're going to be so far away. You're going to be so far away, and you're going to be 10 steps ahead in comparison to what you could have been if you try to focus on 100 different things per day. This is from Virgil, by the way. I want to give him credit for this. So this is from Virgil. Let me give the credit to my mentor, Virgil. Virgil Brewster, right? So this is for him. This is not my insight, but I tell you that works. This stuff works. This stuff works. So this is what I think about practicing daily. So practicing daily, it is important. This is why, for example, on Learn Apex, we have on Learn Apex, if you go to the leaderboard, we have here a streak, right? And you can see that some people, like Jonathan, for example, he had been practicing for like 76 days straight. Every day he was going to like modules, and let's say we want to do variables, right? So we have here a variable task, and yeah, here we go, the variable, okay. And then he's going here, and then he's practicing and clicking on run. So it's important to practice every day, and yes, but identify this one thing that you can do and focus on this one thing. That's pretty much it. Last call for the questions. Otherwise we're gonna be finishing this off. It was really nice to meet you, everyone. Definitely okay. Write. Can you write in the chat if it was helpful? Because I want to know if that was helpful. See you on 18th, Barbara. See you on the waitlist. As everyone, join the waitlist of the learn-apex.com. On the 18th of November, this is the quickest way to learn Apex. So join it. And thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone, and see you everyone on the lounge. Good luck. Bye bye.